Right now, win, lose, or draw, Badger fans will show up and show out for Bucky. We bring you the sights and sounds of traditions from fans off the field. Plus, a Wisconsin community mourns after missing 3-year-old Elijah Vu from Two Rivers, Wisconsin, has been confirmed dead. People from his hometown react to this disturbing breakthrough in the case. And we're also following Senator Patty Murray and her cannabis launch event in Madison today for the Harris Walls campaign. All of this coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. There are now just 52 days until Election Day, with mail-in voting already underway in some states. And as CBS's Christian Benavides reports, Trump is under fire for his relationship with a conspiracy theorist seen flying with him to events this past week.
Former President Donald Trump in battleground Nevada Saturday, making a stop at the Las Vegas Police Protective Association.
Nobody can believe how bad they've done at the border, running our country, the economy, inflation.
After spending much of the week defending his racist claims made during this week's presidential debate that Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio are eating people's pets.
They're eating the dogs.
Doubling down, even as some schools there were evacuated Friday for bomb threats.
I don't know what happened with the bomb threats. I know that it's been taken over by illegal migrants.
Vice President Kamala Harris spent much of her week in Pennsylvania, venturing into parts of the state that trend red, making an appeal to moderates.
I feel very strongly that you got to earn every vote, and that means spending time with folks in the communities where they live.
She's also speaking at an event in front of the Congressional Black Caucus. All this as Trump defends his relationship with 9/11 conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer.
Laura's a supporter. I don't control Laura. Laura has to say what she wants.
Who has been spotted with him this week. Loomer posted the White House will smell like curry if Harris is elected. Trump later posted that he disagrees with some statements she's made. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
And today, Washington Senator and President for Pro Tempore of the United States, Patty Murray, was in downtown Madison. She met with Democratic Party of Wisconsin Chairman Ben Winkler, Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin, and Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway as part of a canvassing event for Vice President Kamala Harris. They launched their canvassing event at 9 this morning before moving on to the Dane County Farmers Market about an hour later to meet with people. There, Murray emphasized the need for a Democrat as president to benefit their party. Senator Murray also touched on the debate, praising the vice president.
People, I think, really understand here in Wisconsin that their vote matters for Wisconsin, but it matters for the future of country, for people all the way back to my home state of Washington, that they get out and vote and help us win.
This visit by Murray is part of the Harris Walls campaign's New Way Forward Battleground Tour, meant to push support for Democrats as the November election quickly approaches. And the visits to Wisconsin did not stop there, as Democratic vice presidential nominee Tim Walz made a stop in Superior, Wisconsin earlier today. The Minnesota governor in his speech today focused on reproductive rights, comparing the Harris-Walz vision for the topic to the Trump and Vance's vision. He also touted a recent endorsement from a well-known pop artist.
Here's my life hack for all of you, all the guys out there, whatever. Here's my life hack. Surround yourself with smart women and listen to them, and you'll do just fine. You'll do just fine. That includes my fellow cat owner, Taylor Swift, too, by the way.
And the state will see even more visits in the coming days, as Vice President Harris is set to visit the state next Friday. This will be the vice president's 4th visit to Wisconsin since her campaign was launched in July. The exact time and location is yet to be announced. And Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance will be stopping in Eau Claire next Tuesday, September 17th. This will take place at the city's event center at 4:30. This will be his 2nd visit to Eau Claire in just over a month. Now let's get a look at your first warn forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller, who's out on the weather patio. Blaze, how does it feel out there?
Well, our current temperatures are in the low to mid 70s, so it feels rather nice because that's where we would normally end the day. So that shows you just how warm we are as we head into your Saturday evening. It's been a beautiful couple of days here. Dina was out on Lake Monona and she captured a beautiful, I'm assuming, sunset as most likely the University of Wisconsin rowing team there practicing. You can head on over to our website. If you're able to, you can scan that code there and submit any and all weather photos you want. We've got a running list, and you can see them too of people who've submitted them. We love to show them off. So thank you, Dina, for sending that in. Earlier today, we had a little bit of rain off towards parts of Juneau, Adams County, up there in Monroe County, Vernon County. Very light. Not everybody saw that rain, but now we're drying out. Still keeping with the clear to mostly clear conditions for most, but still seeing a little bit of cloud cover up there near Sparta. They're at 67 along with Columbus. Lake Geneva at 63, 72 in Belleville, 73 in Baraboo. We are not going to cool off a whole lot, hanging out in those 60s tonight with, again, better cloud cover off towards the north and west. Maybe still an isolated shower, though I think we're pretty much dried out for this evening. We'll maybe squeeze out an isolated shower to end the weekend, but as you're seeing there, our rain chances remain minimal through most of next week until the end of your upcoming work week. We're going to track out what changes in the jet stream bring about that rain. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze, and thank you, Dina. Camp Randall is one of college football's legendary venues, but for all the incredible games that have been played there, today's game was in a class of its own. Sports anchor Andrew Bancher has more on Wisconsin's highly anticipated game against Alabama. Andrew.
Yeah, Jalen, you said it. This game is just different. Luke Fickell said he was informed about this game against Alabama the very day after he was hired. That was 2 years ago. But despite the unprecedented hype, the Badgers didn't quite meet the moment. It didn't help that their starting quarterback got knocked out early, and Alabama, well, they started separating themselves in the first half, leading 14-3, and showed why they are, well, Alabama, in the waning seconds of the half, a dime for one of Jalen Milroe's 5 touchdowns on the day. The Tide turned the tables on an unprecedented game day in Madison and beat down the Badgers 42-10, the final score.
But the number one thing in that locker room I told these guys is we've went through this. You know, the leadership group talked about these things, and what are you going to do when you're 2-0? What are you going to do if you're 4-0? What are you going to do if you're 2-1? How are you going to handle these things? How are you going to handle what everybody wants to say about you? So we know we've got a hell of a long way to go to figure out what we are and what we can hang our hat on. But I have faith and trust in those guys in that locker room, and that's what you got to continue to ride with.
So Alabama hands Wisconsin their worst home loss since 2008, sending the Badgers into their bye week with more questions than answers at the quarterback position. Jalen, will have much more coming up in sports.
All right, Andrew, we'll see you then. The Badgers had a tough loss against 4th-ranked Alabama today, but game day here in Madison is a lot more than just what happens at Camp Randall. Our Ellie LaLiberte hit the tailgates earlier today and shows us how fans got amped up.
Whether you're in red and white or white and red, both teams are out here showing their support.
It doesn't matter where you're from on game day in Madison.
Columbus, Georgia.
Wausau, Wisconsin.
Colorado.
In Hudson, Wisconsin.
Illinois. But some could argue it matters who you cheer for. Some hardcore fans.
I got the Badger sunglasses, Badger shoes, and I'm ready to go.
Roll Tide. Matter of fact, I love the Badgers so much I bought season tickets, and I live in Colorado. We usually like to try to, catch one out-of-town Alabama game, and we felt like this would be a great game to visit.
And some split houses.
I'm rooting for my alma mater and my son's school.
And I went down to undergrad at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and now I'm back here in Madison, Wisconsin for medical school.
The competition goes past the football field, because when you ask who tailgates better,
Alabama tailgating on the quad gets pretty intense.
Bama tries with all their pretty little outfits they put on and stuff, but we party like rock stars.
Some traditions run deep.
We've been tailgating here since we got out of college in '83, and we come to the same lot every year. We do the same thing. We got speakers, we got trucks, we got lots of friends that show up.
Showing up and showing out, no matter the score.
Reporting in Madison, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. It was confirmed Friday the skeletal remains found on private property in northeast Wisconsin last week were those of 3-year-old Elijah Vu. He had been missing since February. Now, a community is in mourning. Lenny's 2 is usually a lively place in Two Rivers, but for 15 minutes, the mood turned somber as patrons focus on the TV and learn that Elijah Vu's remains had been identified. Over the last 7 months, hundreds of volunteers searched far and wide for any signs of the little boy. One of those volunteers, Larry Hamblin, says she spent over 180 hours coordinating search efforts.
What was your initial reaction when you heard the news?
My initial reaction was no. I was hoping we'd discover him somewhere alive. My secondary reaction was thinking of the family. They all put in so much time and so many hours to try and find Elijah.
Now that the search has become a death investigation, Lori hopes this new information will help lead to the closure for the family. The child's mother, Katrina Bauer, and her boyfriend, Jesse Vang, have been in jail following the boy's disappearance. They both face child neglect charges, but neither have been charged in connection with Vu's disappearance. And coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, we have the Spring Green for a barbecue cook-off that's for a good cause. And meteorologist Blaze Keller with a complete look at your first one forecast is coming up after the break.
Tammy Baldwin's partner is Maria Brisbane, a Wall Street wealth advisor to the ultra-rich. They spend their time in New York and D.C. in their multi-million-dollar homes. But Baldwin fails to report their jointly owned assets or Maria's clients, who get rich off industries that Tammy regulates. That's a conflict of interest raising serious ethical questions. Two-faced Tammy Baldwin. She's not for us anymore. Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Okay, guys, we're all here because US Cellular has an incredible deal. Right now, you can get 4 lines for just $90.
Sorry, just double checking. Is it really that good of a deal?
Yeah. It's a huge deal. You also get 4 free phones of your choice.
4 free phones! Wow, I just triple checked and that's awesome.
So go get that deal. Or at least help me clip. Do you check the expiration dates?
Oh, I can do that.
Great.
Get 4 free phones of your choice with no trade-in needed, plus 4 lines for $90.
We know Wisconsin workers can get the job done.
But China has been taking our jobs.
For years, our government built America's infrastructure with Chinese iron and steel. I said that's got to change.
Tammy Baldwin wrote the law to make sure American projects are made with American iron and steel. Now we're getting more work in Wisconsin.
With Wisconsin workers.
Tammy Baldwin stood up to China and our government.
She got the job done.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
If your windows are leaky and drafty, it's possible they weren't installed properly. Many installers lack proper training, and shoddy installation leaves your home vulnerable to extreme weather. At Next Door & Window, we're reinventing window installation. Our approach ensures your windows are sealed tight and energy efficient. And your windows and doors will be installed by certified experts who treat your home as if it was their own. When you demand tomorrow's comfort, Next delivers. Visit nextwindow.com to learn more.
Action! Get up to 60% off list prices on hundreds of items at the huge Labor Day sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Hurry, it's the final days. Just $3.95 to shake up your living room with a fresh new look. Get this power recliner for a steal, an upholstered bed in 2 colors, or a super padded, family-friendly reclining sectional. And of course, totally free doorstep shipping with no minimum.
Up to 60% off at the huge Labor Day sale at Slumberland Furniture. Do not miss this one.
4 years ago, in this alley, rioters threw a brick at my face and knocked out my teeth. Why? Because I was a police officer. And what did Kamala Harris do? While America's cities were burning, Kamala was defending peaceful protest. She raised millions to help bail rioters out of jail and supported defunding our police, making us all less safe. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Students have a lot of power and influence over how this election is going to turn out.
I'll show you how young voters are getting their voices heard and the impact this could have in November. 3 for the People, Monday on News 3 Now at 6.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for staying with us. A barbecue cook-off took place in Spring Green, Wisconsin earlier today. Our Tanasia Shaw visited the local event and asked grill masters what makes their barbecue oh so special.
I'm here in Spring Green where you can see it's barbecue galore. This is the 11th annual Smoke in the Valley where they're grilling for a good cause.
Food, music, and community. It's a win-win situation. Guests paid $25 for live music, vendors, and all-you-can-eat barbecue. Barbecue comes from community members who made these local teams, and they're all competing for the top spot.
What makes your barbecue different from everybody else here?
Well, it's hard to say that one, you know, because I really haven't tasted the other people's stuff, but a whole lot of love. It's a secret family recipe, you know?
Okay. Can you share the secret with Channel 3?
Practice makes perfect.
The money raised at the festival goes back to the community.
So this year we're going to be doing a couple scholarships for the high school students. There will be a large donation to the local theaters and also to the parks and youth sports.
Smoke in the Valley started back in 2013. The founders told me they came up with the idea at a bar.
Another buddy was sitting at the bar and said, hey, we should have a competition, and they were looking for a place to host it. So we, Prem Meats, decided we'd host it here, and I think it started out, I think we had 7 or 8 competitors and maybe a crowd of 200 people, and it's grown in up to 20 competitors now, and you know, we're expecting around 2,000, 2,500 people today, so it's grown a lot over the years.
Students interested in applying for the scholarship can sign up right now. We have a link to that on our website. Reporting in Spring Green, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanasia, thank you. Smoke in the Valley, unfortunately for all my barbecue lovers, is a one-day event. Their next festival will be held in 2025. Now, it seems as if Wisconsin always has some type of festival going on, and this weekend is no different, as Wisconsin Dells hosted the Wozawa Festival. Wozawa means fun time in native Ho-Chunk. The festival features a parade with floats, of course, vendors, and food trucks.
Just enjoying the atmosphere, the weather, the people, the music.
What are your names?
The Wozawa Festival takes place every year the week after Labor Day. Now let's get a look at your first warned forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, what's in store?
Well, a lack of rain is really what we're anticipating here as we move into your next work week. As of really yesterday, the Madison area, a lot of southern Wisconsin hasn't even picked up 1/10 of an inch of rain. So we need it. The grass is getting greener, certainly, or getting more dry, looking more straw-like. But there is some good news on the horizon for folks who've been itching for a good rainstorm, maybe a good thunderstorm as well. We're going to add back our chances for rain as we head into the second half of your upcoming work week, more or less into that upcoming weekend. While Future Track wants to bring a few showers into northwestern parts of our forecast area and across extreme southwestern parts of our forecast area on Sunday, I don't think it's in the cards, and the reason I'll explain here in just a moment. I think we'll see actually just the cloud cover, but that'll be slowly decreasing as we go throughout the day, leading to more sunshine as we go into Monday. That rain chance going to be pushed well off to our north as we head into the start of our next work week. Tuesday, even though Future Track again wants to bring in some rain across parts of our forecast area, especially northwestern parts, I just don't see it in the cards. And the reason is because we're not underneath the jet. We've kind of talked about this in many different ways, or we've explained what the jet stream is in many different ways. It is a stream. And if you think of a stream, when it carries things through it, you get impacted by it. Well, if you're not in the stream, you're not going to be impacted by those things or our weather systems. So as that jet stream is pushed further north as we go into the middle of next week, it's going to take any weather systems with it and push it up north as well. It's only when we start to go into next weekend that we start to kind of get into the edge of that jet stream, meaning we'll get a little bit more activity as we head into the second half of next week. And our Climate Prediction Center friends are kind of picking up on where that rain is going to stay throughout next week until we move that jet stream further east, where we find that darker green, where we find those higher rain totals. Across northwestern, even parts of Wisconsin, or at least our forecast area, we get about a half an inch or less over 7 days. It's towards the cities that they pick up more of that inch over the next 7 days because they're in the jet. We're not in that. And that's the reason why we're going to also stay warmer than average over the next 7 days as well. But it's not all bad news. Even though the grass is getting a little bit drier, more straw-like out there, it's actually been a fairly wet, if not one of the wettest, January through August for Wisconsin. In fact, Dane County is the wettest county from January through the end of August across the entire state, with over a foot of additional rain accumulated from the start of the year through the end of August. And a lot of our counties are reporting a wetter than average year. So while we haven't had rain in the more immediate future, we're not doing too badly. We have some abnormally dry conditions, but as we head into next weekend, we'll hopefully scale that back as we reintroduce the chances for rain. Sunday, we're looking at partly cloudy to mostly cloudy conditions, some sunshine here and there, especially farther north and west. Temperatures once again into those mid to upper 80s. We should only top out in the low 70s for this time of year. So you can see any temperature above really 73 degrees is going to be above average. So rain chances begin Friday, but that's going to be further west and continue into our upcoming weekend. The best chance for now, at least, looking like it's going to be Sunday into Sunday night and then into that following Monday.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. And coming up in sports, Wisconsin football hosts Alabama in a game years in the waiting. But could they live up to the hype? Andrew has the highlights next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I'm Joan Balwig, and these days the cost to make Great-Grandma Balwig's Blue Ribbon banana bread is, well, just nuts. Wisconsin families are feeling the pinch of inflation, even on the basics. That's why I work to put dough back in your pockets. Led the effort to defend our family farms and pass the biggest tax cut in state history, because the only way to make life affordable again is to do what banana bread does and bring everyone to the table.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. Find yours with Ford F-150. Gas, hybrid, or all electric. Whether it's towing, powering up, or getting from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, what you choose to do with that much power is up to you. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Choose FlexBuy on F-150 and get 0.9% APR financing for 66 months, plus $2,000 FlexBuy cash and $1,000 low APR cash.
I'm not old enough to vote yet, but I learned how 1 out of 6 of us will someday be raped. So please, think about me when you vote.
I learned how our freedom to have an abortion was taken away.
Even in cases of rape or incest.
Even to travel to get an abortion.
You know who got rid of Roe v. Wade. When you vote, please think about me.
Because the politician who got rid of Roe v. Wade,
he couldn't care less.
Papa Murphy's everyday value lineup means big savings on big flavors. Like our new shredded pepperoni, crumbled sausage, or classic cheese pizzas. All for the small price of $7.99 each. Order now at papamurphys.com.
Hi. Deprioritized. But it's a work call. Oh, a work call? Oh. Deprioritized.
T-Mobile home internet relies on cell phone towers, so when their network gets busy,
Not the fridge, come on.
you can be deprioritized.
It's too bad, it's a good movie. Yeah.
Forget T-Mobile cell phone internet. Get home internet that puts you first. Get Spectrum.
Bidenomics is working.
It's not. ABC News proved it with charts.
It was under control
on
during
inflation,
the Trump administration, well below
gas,
$3 a gallon, 35%
and housing.
jump in home prices, folks.
Even CNN admits it.
When it comes to the economy, groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Yet Harris still says,
Bidenomics is working.
no, it isn't.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Experience the Channel 3000 News app today. Tailored for your news the way you want it. With a customizable home page and faster page loads. Download the Channel 3000 News app. Powered by News 3 Now.
The energy on Wisconsin's campus this morning was just palpable. For a game Wisconsin fans have had circled on their calendars for years. College football's perennial powerhouse, Alabama, crossing north of the Mason-Dixon line for the first time since 2011 to play Wisconsin, but the excitement, it was short-lived. A familiar feeling. Senior quarterback Tyler Van Dyke goes down with an injury in the first quarter, but the Crimson Tide quarterback Jalen Milroe, he showed why he's one of the best players in the country early and often. Puts Alabama on the board with a touchdown late in the first. That was caught by a 17-year-old Ryan Williams, by the way. And then later, Milroe is back for more, recovering off of a Wisconsin fumble and making sure they get the most out of it. Later in the game, 28-10 Alabama. We can just forget about it. Milroe, a madman at Camp Randall, putting together a 5-touchdown masterpiece, slicing and dicing the Badgers in Madison to the tune of a 42-10 dominating win. And as our Zach Hanley found out, history tends to repeat itself.
The last time Wisconsin hosted a top 5 team in non-conference play, they jumped out to a 3-0 lead and then lost in a landslide. 35 years later, history repeated itself as the Badgers were blown out by Bama.
There's no moral victories. Like, this isn't Little League. Like, we got beat today and beat bad. There's not many positives that you can find in that.
Whooping's a whooping, but if you can get back up and move forward, then you can grow from it. But I think it's more about the whole and finding out, what kind of heart, what kind of passion we have for this, and what kind of leadership do we have.
This bye week's gonna be big for us on how we bounce back and how we face adversity. Obviously, we knew adversity was gonna hit at some point this season. Obviously, it hit pretty early for us this season, and I think the leaders on the team are gonna have to do a big job this week.
I don't fear where we are as a program and as a team. Still have full belief in Coach Fick and the staff and in the locker room. We just got to keep pushing at the end of the day. We just put our head back down and just keep going.
So the Badgers get a bye week to regroup and, more importantly, figure out what they're going to do at quarterback. Because as Luke Fickell said after the game about Tyler Van Dyke, we don't know what the status is, but it doesn't look good. At Camp Randall Stadium, Zach Hanley, News 3 Sports.
Well, the Packers' first home game of the season is tomorrow, but it's almost certain that Jordan Love will not play. He's still recovering from that MCL sprain and has been downgraded to doubtful. But Jalen, if you ask me, I don't think he was ever going to play this weekend. It just doesn't seem like it would make much sense. Let him at least sit this weekend. Malik Willis expected to start for the Green and Gold, who are underdogs against the Colts at Lambeau. I think we can just sit back and say Luke Fickell put it best. It was a butt whooping from Alabama, and I think it's something that hopefully this team can learn from going forward. They get a bye week next, and then they go to a really good USC team.
Luckily, Braden Locke has played. He played a lot for the Badgers last year. As for the Packers, Malik Willis saw some action his rookie season back in 2022. So different system for the most part. Hopefully he can get things rolling tomorrow.
It is the weekend, hopefully not the month, of the backup quarterback in Wisconsin football.
For sure. Fingers crossed. Well, sounds good, Andrew. A final check of your first one forecast is coming up when we return.
Earn a 25-cent Hy-Vee Fuel Saver for every $50 this Saturday and Sunday. That's a 25-cent fuel saver for every $50 you spend in-store and online. Saturday and Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
He told us who he was.
Should abortion be punished? There has to be some form of punishment.
Then he showed us.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it, and I'm proud to have done it.
Now Donald Trump wants to go further with plans to restrict birth control, ban abortion nationwide, even monitor women's pregnancies. We know who Donald Trump is. He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor and the potential to take you anywhere.
It's Chevy truck season. Get 1.9% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
Energy is like a symphony. Every note, every chord, every instrument creates an incredible melody of power and possibility. But that energy needs to be reliable to have the same power and affordable to keep the melody. At home, on the road, on farms and fleets, and even ports. Propane and renewable propane lower carbon emissions while harnessing the full symphony of energy. Learn more about safe, clean, reliable propane at propane.com.
They've been rocking audiences for decades. It's Foghat. Performing live November 30th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
I just want to make
with special guest, The Empty Pockets. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. Legendary rock band Foghat. Live in concert November 30th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
Women need to pay close attention
to what Eric Hovde says about access to abortion.
Hovde's all in about opposing reproductive rights.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
And he wanted Roe overturned.
Do you think Roe versus Wade should be overturned?
Yes. So Eric Hovde is okay with politicians overruling decisions of doctors like me.
My patients worry about what Hovde will take away next.
A vote for Eric Hovde means we'll lose even more control over our lives.
Women Vote is responsible for the content of this ad.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise. Get the updated COVID-19 vaccine at Hy-Vee. Schedule online today or just stop by any Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Plus, get your flu shot and earn a 20-cent fuel saver. Only at Hy-Vee.
Donate kids' winter coats at Clinky Cleaners during Coats for Kids.
So oddly enough, with this warmth that continues, we have to be outside a lot more than Blaze does.
That's not my problem.
You know how sunburnt I am from being outside at Camp Randall all day, and I'm happy to be sunburnt. Yeah. Let's get that out of the way.
But like this late, you wouldn't expect to be sunburned. It's going to be hot and sunny all week. 80s, maybe even 90s. A couple of us got close to 90 today, and we typically say goodbye to 90s a few weeks ago, but we don't say goodbye to the 80s here for about another week. So it's not abnormal, but certainly for folks who maybe got that, who really like that taste of fall we had a few weeks ago, they're maybe not going to like this. But we add rain chances by next weekend.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you guys, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you here tomorrow.